Thank you very much. I'm very happy that I was invited here, that I can speak to you. IPPNW Germany has adopted in our messages that we are not only against nuclear weapons, but also against or for the phase out of all nuclear energy worldwide right after the Chernobyl accident. Chernobyl accident impressed a lot of people, especially mothers and fathers. I was at that time. I'm still a mother, but my children were very young that time. And we had a lot of demonstrations, and we were very much impressed in our IPPNW Section 2. And since then, we have worked on the phase out. And in the beginning of the 90s, we started also to become interested in questions of energy and energy transition. I myself, I'm one of the 1.5 million energy producers from the citizens in Germany. 20 years ago, my husband and I, we put a photovoltaic on our roof. And when the 1998, when the green red government came into Germany, and when they won the elections, we had a good pressure to really phase out nuclear energy and start with energy transition. And the maker and the thinker of the energy transition was a social democrat. His name is Hermann Scher. He is dead now. And he was really a revolutionary thinker, and he has written books like Energy Autonomy, and one of his quotes is the nuclear facilities belong to the Technology Museum. No other place for that. What I will tell you about the energy transition in Germany is mostly taken from the website of Agora, which is an energy think tank, and another energy think tank, Unendlich viel Energie. It says plenty of energy in Germany and in the world. The German Energiewende started in 2000 with the EEG, the Energieeinspeisungsgesetze feed-in tariff law. And it is an integrated policy framework which combines several objectives. We want climate change policy for climate change. We want a nuclear phase-out. We want to improve energy security, and we also will guarantee competitiveness and growth. So the main backbone, as Keith already said today, is wind and solar. They are the cheapest renewable energy resources. They are weather dependent, they are variable, and we only have capital expenditure. We don't have to buy sun or wind. Comes every day, mostly. Sun comes every day, even if there are clouds, it comes. And the wind comes very, very often. And the wind is also there at night, a lot of times, when the sun isn't shining. So wind energy and solar photovoltaics form the backbone. When we start with them, they are relatively high capital costs, but no operating costs. There's a weather dependency, and the production of electricity fluctuates rapidly, as Keith has shown with this curve, and I will show you some of this type of curves. And we have to keep in mind that these characteristics are really different from the era of coal and natural gas and nuclear. They will change our energy producing system and also our energy market. So the challenge is to balance demand and supply. As Keith also said, the basal power plants, they will disappear, and they have not disappeared in Germany so far because of political reasons, not because of technical reasons, but there was a lot of political opposition of the big energy monopoles, big firms called E.ON and RWE in Germany, who in the beginning, when this energy feed-in law came, thought, oh, they will never make it. The renewables are, they're nothing. They cannot make it at all. We had in 2000, when the law started, about 4% of renewable energies, and these capitals said, oh, you won't make it to 10% at all. It's nothing. And so they went down to sleep. They didn't do anything. Said, we make coal, we make nuclear, and the nuclear phase out will be in 2022. It's far away. It was the year of 2000, and the energy transition will not come, and we can sleep and we can go on with our work as we know it. But then very quickly it started in Germany with the feed-in, and we saw these curves that went up very high very quickly. We have all these effects that has been already shown, that the price went slowly down, the wind and the photovoltaic went up, and we just had success, and all the people liked it. All the people liked it, and all the people thought, oh, it's so great, it feels so sexy, and we want photovoltaic on our roof, and we want to be part of an energy cooperative, and we want to put together with 100 or 200 citizens and wind power plant there, and it's possible. It's you can, if you organize it well, you can have a wind power plant in 2 years, and it's not much comparing to nuclear, I think. So this was very successful, and now we have very low prices. We have 6 to 9 euro cents kilowatt for wind energy, and 8 to 9 cents kilowattstunde for solar. Now I want to go in more to the problem of seasonal supply and demand scenarios, because we really have to understand this. The seasons are different. This graph is from February, and you see here this is this wind onshore and offshore, and this is a little sun, and this is one week in February, and this is the demand, what is needed. So we have you see in this week in February we have half of the week we can really give the supply with the wind power plants, even in winter, in February. In February, if you have sun, you only have it in high dimensions at noon, around noon. And this is in April. In April, this is a week where there's less wind, but there's much more sun, as you see. And this one is in August. In August, you can also have some days with less wind, and you won't have all the energy demand that you want with the supply you give right now. And this is, they have chosen here one day in November when there is little wind and little sun only. So there are during the year some weeks, not very many. I don't have the number in mind, but it's about only 50 days or so where you need other than wind and solar so far.
Oh.
And you have, you have to think about it and you have to make solutions for that. So I showed these graphs just to tell you that we need solutions for that, and that scientists, and in Germany there are many think tanks working on this problem, that scientists have to think about these problems and find solutions. This is from the Agora website again, when we have now 35% of the electricity done by renewable energies. So the graphs I showed you before are with 35%. All these graphs are with the situation now with 35% of the electricity produced by renewable energies. Now this is a graph on 2033, and you see we in this. I go here again. You see in this week you only have here on one day you have a problem where you have a little. You have to produce by biogas, for instance. You have to produce electricity, but all the other days, no problem at all. The different solutions for flexibility are they are as follows. We have a lot of people in Germany say, oh, we can do it with renewable energies because what do you do if the sun isn't shining? And what do you do if the wind is not blowing? But generally speaking, when the sun doesn't shine, the wind is blowing, and when the wind, yeah, that's it. And even in different regions, mostly they are really you can put them together. And if you integrate the heat sector, this offers also an enormous potential for increasing the system flexibility. There are on the market now combined heat and power plants, and from biogas, if you use it for heating, you can also produce electricity with it. And over the long term, the integration is very, you have to use integration from natural gas, from biogas, or power to gas combined. Now this is an overview on the investment in energy plants in 2014 and 2020. And we had 2040 share of the electricity consumption of almost 28%. Now we have 35%. And the share of heat consumption was 2040 almost 10%, and it is said that it will be 25%. And fuel consumption was 2040 5.4%, and the share of the final energy consumption 12%. So I want to go to the question of jobs. As I said before, in 2013, almost 370,000 jobs were employment in the renewable energies. This has gone down in the last years, and the reasons are political. When we had in 2011 the close down from 8 nuclear power plants, from almost together 17 nuclear power plants in Germany, the industry, the nuclear and the coal industry, they protested a lot, and they didn't want this nuclear phase out at all, because shortly before the German government had said, oh, the nuclear power plants can go up to 2030, not only 2020, but 2030. And with our protest after the Fukushima catastrophe, the German government was forced to do something, and Angela Merkel was forced to do something. We went on the streets at that time for half a year, every Monday, in thousands, German cities. Just imagine that we were on the streets and we demonstrated and demonstrated and demonstrated. It was not easy, but we did it. And of all the 17 nuclear power plants, only 8 were shut up. So it was a hard fight, it was not easy. And then our government said, well, we have this wonderful energy feed-in law, but the costs are so high, and the journalist also said, oh, costs are so high, so we have to change the feed-in law, and they made some changes that had as a consequence that investors did not want to invest in photovoltaics so much, and later on not in wind. So we have of these 370,000 jobs, we have lost, I think we have lost 17,000 maybe. I'm not quite sure, but it really went down. So this, if one has the energy transition, people will have to fight and will have to go on the street and will have to do something. It's not a gift. And I think from Austria we also learned it. It's not a gift. We have to fight for it. We have to struggle for it. And there are very powerful powers in the government, in the media, and in the energy big capital that do not want renewable energies, even though if it's really easy to do and it's technically easy to do, we have to be together and do something together. And I think we have to really think it in a European-wide dimension. It's not enough that Austria and Germany do it. We need England, we need France, we need all the European countries to do it together. This is it's a hard work for us, but I think that we can do it. I hear at the end, just to remind you how much subsidiaries were given to fossil fuel, to fossils and to nuclear in the last years, and how little was only given to renewables. I wanted to present these figures. So in Germany, between 1970 and 2040, we have a little more than 100 billion euro for renewables, but for hard coal, 3,027, for lignite 95, and for nuclear 290. And the figures often show much more than a lot of work. So we want the subsidies if they come for renewables and for nothing else. At last, and this is my last picture, my last slide, we see the electricity mix in Germany. This is the renewables, but you see here, this is lignite, which is a lot. We find lignite in Germany, in West Germany, in a place near Cologne and Düsseldorf, and in East Germany. And the lignite monopoles are very strong. In North Rhine-Westphalia, where I come from, they are very close together with the Social Democrat Party and with the unions, which is a big problem. We have done years and years of protests against it, but North Rhine-Westphalia really emits a lot of carbon dioxide. So this is nuclear, and this is coal, and this is gas, and this is the rest, which is hydro. We don't have so much hydro in Germany. Oh yes, and this is here the map of Germany, and you see wind. This is a lot of wind is in northern Germany. And again, even though in northern Germany there's a lot of wind, there's much of political barriers against wind in southern Germany by the parties there. So this is a problem too. And this is photovoltaic in Germany, how it is spread. And the darker you see it here, the more photovoltaic or wind you find. Thank you very much.